you go public, you make a response. There's a huge reaction to it.
Yeah.
How'd the Navy respond to it? And what ultimately led to you being acquitted?
Yeah, they didn't like it. They didn't like it. I got to give credit where credit's due. As much as I said, I think my admiral failed us on this one. He brought me in the room and he said, "Hey, listen, I will never infringe upon your right to free speech." He said, "Just do me a favor. Let me know when you're going to do it ahead of time, so I'm not hearing about it from the CNO." And so I thought it was a very interesting. It was almost like was it World War I or II where they had like the Christmas time truce, where they all came out of their trenches and like celebrated Christmas together. Yeah. It's like, oh wow, like okay, I appreciate that about this dude. Like
go back to killing each other.
Yeah, we may be completely on opposite sides here, and I may really not like your leadership decisions here, but I appreciated that about him was he never tried to suppress my right to free speech. Which is really an impressive thing that he did there. So got to give credit where credit's due. But the Navy didn't like it, and it was made pretty clear to me because I submitted more evidence. We kept getting more evidence because more people would come clean, and so we just kept submitting it. And I kept saying to everybody, "Hey, here's some more stuff. By the way, probably the best thing for everyone to do right now would be just drop the whole case. Like drop the charges. Let us get back to serving in the Navy. We all wanted to just go back to doing our jobs." Like it's pretty clear what you should do, pretty clear, but they just kept doubling down. No, we have to follow this process through, Brad. What? Yeah, they would defend the process. Well, if the process is showing itself to be unjust, and you're a leader who can back to policies constraining us, and you can stop that by just saying we're done, then you should do that. If you're just regurgitating the line, well, trust the process. Well, you're a part of the problem. You're absolving yourself of your mandated authority as a leader to actually do the right thing here. And you're stepping back from the need to make a decision by saying, well, we're just going to trust the process so I don't have to make a decision. But the process is screwing over good teammates. The process is throwing away honorable service members like trash. As a leader, shouldn't you be the one stepping in saying, let's do the right thing here. Let's stop this process. But they never did. And in fact, not only did they not stop, they kept coming after us. And then they kept turning a blind eye to all the admirals that had lied. Just being implicated in the investigation alone paralyzed our careers. We were not, the doctor is still waiting to put on captain. He's selected before this ever happened, but it put a freeze on his record, and so he was unable to promote. Even though all charges are dropped, the dude's still not wearing captain because the Navy's so screwed up on their processes. In contrast, I gave them black and white evidence that these admirals lied, knowingly produced false investigations. What did the Navy do? Promoted them.
Yeah.
Not only did you not freeze their career while they adjudicated the evidence, which was conclusive, you promoted them. And then you got on social media, CNO, and talked about how great this admiral is. And I promoted him to 3 stars and what a shining example of leadership. I mean, it's just hypocrisy.
Why he's implicated in a lie and freezing someone else's promotion.
Yeah, it's this classic hypocrisy. Get real, get better. Down to the deck plates. We'll wag our fingers at you. Make you show us how you're getting real, getting better, but don't you dare confront us. And so we saw that. And instead of dropping the charges, they actually elevated the charges. Independently. This Navy Administrative Command, NAVPERS, decided we're going to elevate the charges against you and Doc to now basically equate you to manslaughter. This guy died because of you, which had never been said. No document had said that. And we know from insiders, they knew that. And they said that there's no way we want to draw a causative line between your leadership and his death because we all know why he died, even though we're not willing to say it out loud. Yeah. That was said to me.
But now this is retaliatory.
This is retaliatory. How dare you confront us on our moral failings, Brad? Mm-hmm. So now we're going to show you, we're going to raise the charges and we're going to come after your retirement and we're going to come after your reputation even more.
And your freedom.
And my freedom. Yeah, because I asked him, hey, I will retire today. I'll walk away from this whole thing. Like I gave them off-ramp after off-ramp after off-ramp opportunity. Drop the charges. We can call it quits. You can stop paying me. I will walk away from the United States Navy. I'm good. I just want out at this point. Like I just want out. No, deny you that freedom. We're going to take this to the bitter end. And they just kept trying and kept trying. So, okay, well, I'll keep asking Congress for help and the Senate for help. And eventually it was even the White House helped. They finally called down to the Navy. They're like, stop, but don't you get here. I talked to the White House Presidential Personnel Office, PPO, and they're like, Brad, we have read everything. You're clean. This is ludicrous. We've read it all. You're fine. Like we're gonna help. I said, thank you very much.
Any members of Congress you can name that, that helped you?
Tons.
I know there's plenty, so I don't.
And I've named so many, and I always forget.
Out.
There was so many that helped. I mean, all the prior SEALs, Derek Van Orden.
I'm really good friends with Devo.
Dude, he's great. He's great. That guy's a massive personality.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
He's hilarious. Love him. I mean, so many, dude. Eli Crane. Golly, dude. Corey Mills, my personal congressman. Dan Crenshaw helped.
Yeah.
Brian Mast from South Florida was a game changer. Nick LaLota from New York. I mean, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, dude, that guy's a beast. Senator Tuberville from Alabama and his staff. I mean, Senator Cotton, dude, we had, I mean, these senators were looking at it in the SASC and they're looking at it with their like lawyers and stuff. And we met with them all. And some of them are like, this is so dumb. We don't even want to expend our political capital to help because it's so obvious the Navy's going to lose this over time. Like, good luck, dude. You know, like you've got this. I'm like, no. I know I've got it. Like, I know,
still need help. Yeah.
I know we're going to win, but they're not stopping, man. Like, please. Yeah. And like I said, everyone that looked at it was like, this is ludicrous. And they just all wanted to help and they all did. And they just started writing letters and co-signing letters. Jen Kiggins from Virginia. I'll keep thinking of more as we talk.
Sorry if we left you out, but I had to ask because we beat up on them all the time. I do.
That's what's so sad.
So the ones that,
dude,
yeah,
my world shifted because it was so fun to poke fun at politicians before this, and we all like to. And I had this faith in the Navy as an institution, and it's completely reversed now, where I'm like, golly, these people actually stood up for what's right, and the Navy did not. Whoa, that's a worldview shift, a pretty massive worldview shift right there. I have all the respect in the world for what they did, for them risking their political capital to stand up for us, a nobody. They didn't have to. I wasn't their constituent, but they stood up for what's right. And that meant the world to us. They will always have my loyalty and my gratitude for them doing that, all of them. And if I missed your name, which I know I missed a few, I really do apologize. You know how much you mean to me and my family. Yeah.
What brought it all to an end?
So ultimately, they co-signed another document and raked the Navy across the coals. Like, hey, not only did we say stop before,
who's they?
All these congressmen.
Okay.
They basically wrote these letters and they all co-signed them and sent them to the United States Navy saying, hey, stop. The Navy didn't stop. It doubled down. They said, hey, now we really mean it. Stop. I think President Trump getting elected helped as well. There was a huge, obviously, momentum shift in our priorities as a DOD. Even before he took the seat into the late fall, into the winter, you could see where we were coming. And ultimately, the Navy dropped all charges. That didn't stop him, though. I submitted for my retirement, and then they tried to create this independent administrative board now to demote me in retirement, which is, again, another policy that the Navy can use to unjustly punish you, but all administrative, Brad. This isn't punitive, but we're going to demote you in retirement. Yeah. And I was like, golly, you guys can't read the writing on the wall, can you? Like, I really thought you were smarter than this, but they just kept coming after me. And so
it became personal at this point.
Of course. Yeah. Like, people don't like to be confronted, like we said, with moral failures, and neither does the United States Navy as an institution. And so that's what ended up getting the White House involved. Was finally Hung Cao got involved as the nominated undersecretary. He got presidential personnel officers involved, and they finally called over, and they're like, basically, what don't you get? Stop all, allow Brad to retire, approve his retirement, and off we go. And so that happened. And I retired, and as quickly as possible at that point, just to get out from underneath that guillotine that just kept hanging right over my head.
Without this, would you be retired right now? Would you continue?
Oh, no.
You'd still be serving?
Oh, dude, I was on track. I mean, as a Stockdale recipient, I'd been selected for MAGCOM, Major Command. You were on track for admirals. All I wanted to do was continue on this path. I love the teams. I love the Navy. I still do. I wanted to keep serving. I wanted to keep leading. You know, if I struggle with any anger on this one, it's probably that they took that away from me.
And took it away from the Navy.
It took it away from the Navy.
Because you were, like you said, you were on track for admiral. You would have been a great.
And the dudes that I loved rolling with, like I had the time of my life with these warfighters, and I had such fun serving with them, leading them. Helping them, leading, coaching, and mentoring, suffering with them, and you took that away from me. You took it away from them, and that one's a hard one for me to still deal with because there's resentment there for sure.